Hi guys, today we're going to continue our Amber Brown Wants Extra Credit story. We are on part 3, this is chapter 7. I sit at the restaurant table, making a list of things that I, Amber Brown, don't like. 1. I don't like eating at restaurants. It's so boring. Waiting to get a table, waiting to order something to drink, waiting for the waiter or waitress to come and take the order, waiting for the dinner to arrive, waiting to order dessert, waiting for the check. I personally think that not only the people who work at restaurants should be called waiters, but the people who eat at a restaurant should be called waiters too. Take me to a fast food restaurant any day. You stand in a short line, you get to go through the car, everything arrives at once in a nice little box with your own package of stuff and ketchup. You don't have to say, please pass the blank. It's all there. And sometimes you even get a toy or something. And then you eat it and you're done. And you don't have to sit around gabbing all day. 2. I don't like having to sit at a restaurant with Max, who I don't like. 3. I don't like complaining all the time, but what's a kid to do when nothing is going the way she wants? Amber, please pass the salt. Max smiles at me. I pass him the salt. He could have easily asked my mother to pass him the salt, but no, he had to ask me. Thanks. It's nothing. My mother starts to talk. You know, the two of you have a lot in common. You both like to tell jokes. You both like to eat the center of the Oreo. Great, I think. That's going to be another thing that we have to share. You like to read. You like to travel. You like to see horror movies. My mom babbles on and on. I look at Max. My dad takes me to horror movies. He'll be taking me to a lot of them when he moves back. Amber, my mom says softly. Max says, well, maybe we can just see a few of them until he comes back. He can take me to all of them. I glare at him. Amber, my mom says again. Max looks at my mom and says, Sarah, honey, relax. How dare he call her honey? That's what my dad used to call her before they started fighting. That's what my mom calls me. He puts his hand on top of hers and they hold hands at the table. I accidentally spill my milk on the table. While we wait for the waiter to clean it up, my mother tries to sponge up the liquid with her napkin, and she's no longer holding Max's hand. I don't want to like Gorilla Face, not for one single moment. And he's acting so nice. He does seem like my mom said he would. I hate it that he's acting so nice. This would be so much easier if my mom was dating an axe murderer or something, and then I could really hate him. My mom and Max are hugging. I look over at my mother. This is so gross. I say, Mom, I hope that fungus you have is getting better. And then I look at Max and I say, the doctors say that in girls it's curable, but in boys they die from it. Amber, my mom says, stop that. But Max just laughs. I hate it. He really doesn't even look like a gorilla. He's got dark hair, brown eyes, and he smiles a lot. My mother continues, you both like to chew gum. You'll have to show Max your chewing gum ball one of these days. Max pretends to take a stick of gum out of his mouth. He pretends to blow a huge bubble and pop it all over his face, and he pretends to wipe it off. I will not smile at Max. 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 Chapter 8. Miss Holt collects all of our book reports. All of them except for mine and Eric Feinstein. Eric's not at school today because he broke his arm over the weekend. Some kids will do anything to get out of doing their homework. I know Eric didn't do it intentionally, but he's lucky. He's got a real excuse. He is kind of unlucky because he broke his arm. I wonder if he broke the arm that he writes with. I wonder if I should have made up a list of excuses, or maybe I should have broken my arm. But I hate it when I even break a fingernail. It's really not my fault that I didn't do my book report. All Sunday, I was too angry to do my report. When we got back from dinner, I told my mother that I had to go upstairs to finish my homework. But since Max didn't leave right away, I had to sit silently and sneakily at the top of the stairs, spying on them. I thought I was doing a pretty good job until Max called out, Amber, do you want us to speak louder? Max thinks he's so funny, and so does my mother because she laughed when he said that. So I went into my stop and slam routine, and then my mother came upstairs and told me that enough was enough, and she was trying to be patient with me, but she'd had enough and it was time for me to go to bed. So I went to bed. So it's really my mom's fault that I didn't do my homework. Miss Holt is calling out everyone in the class by name to take attendance and to have that person bring up their book report. Amber Brown, Miss Holt gets to my name. Very softly, I say, I'm here, but my book report isn't. I'll bring it in tomorrow. Someone goes, dun, 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 and then someone else goes, nah, dun, 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 dun. Hannah Burton looks at me and smirks. It figures. I cross my eyes at Hannah Burton. Miss Holt writes something on her book and calls out the next name. It's just my luck that it's not a regular written on piece of paper book report that can be passed to the front without everyone knowing. It's a book report that's supposed to be shaped to look like a cereal box. And I really did start mine. It was called Anastasia's Crunchies. It's one of Lois Lowry's books. I've already done the book summary that's supposed to go along with it. Nutritional development 100%, character development 100%, adventure 50%, interests 100, personalities 100, dialogue 100, pictures 80. Anastasia Crunchies contains the ingredients found only in the best food for thought. I knew what I was going to do for the front cover. I was going to draw a picture of Anastasia and show the inside of the box there would be trading cards. I was going to make one up for Lois Lowry with facts and pictures. So I did have a lot done, but I scrunched it up when I was mad, and I never finished it. I read the book and I loved it, and I did most of the work. It's only a book report. What's the big deal? Chapter 9. I can't believe you didn't do your book report, Amber. What's going on? You're acting so weird. Brandy puts a tuna fish sandwich on her tray. I take a sandwich and a bowl of red Jell-O. I, Amber Brown, love red Jell-O. I love the way it squishes through your teeth when I'm eating it. I, however, don't feel good about having to talk about why I'm being so weird. I try to make a joke out of it. People always say that I'm weird. Putting my tray down on the counter, I grab my ponytails and pretend they're motorcycle handlebars, and I make an engine sound. Usually, this makes Brandy laugh, but this time it doesn't. She does smile, though, and she says, that kind of weird is what I like about you. This is a different kind of weird. We continue to go through the line. You're in a lousy mood sometimes, and you're not as much fun as you used to be, and you won't talk to me about what's bothering you. I pretend to have trouble making my mind up about whether I should choose chocolate cake or regular milk. Brandy sighs. We pay for our food, and we sit down. At the table to the right, some of the sixth graders are blowing straw wrappers at one another. On the left, some of the third graders are having a competition to see if they can make milk come out of their noses. I unwrap my peanut butter jelly and banana sandwich, and I add some potato chips to it. Naomi and Alicia join us. So does Hannah Burton. Having to sit next to Hannah Burton is enough to make me lose my lunch, and I'm not talking about misplacing it. She takes out her lunch, which she brought from home. It's Chinese food, probably leftovers. I love Chinese food, but I would never ask Hannah to share anything with me. Hannah takes out a pair of chopsticks and she starts to use them. She is such a show-off. I love Chinese food, but I hate chopsticks. The only way I don't drop everything is if I spear the food with it. Nice work, Amber. I can't believe you didn't do your book report. Couldn't find a book to match your personality? Did the library lend out the last copy of Where's Spot? She picks up some cold noodles with sesame sauce in them and puts it in her mouth. Are you enjoying your lunch? It looks like worms. Good. Hannah puts the chopsticks down for a minute and she picks them up again. You are so immature, Amber. Late growing up and late turning in your homework. I wonder what Hannah Burton would look like with chopsticks stuck up her nose. Seeing Amber with the chopsticks reminds me of last year when our class studied China and Justin and I dueled with the chopsticks. Why couldn't Hannah have moved to Alabama instead of Justin? Maybe she could have moved to China. Tiffany Schroeder joins us. She opens up her lunchbox, looks inside, and says, I'm going to get that goofball. What is it? What has Howie done this time? I know that's who she's talking about. Goofball is one of the nicer things Tiffany has said about her brother. Tiffany pulls something out of her lunch bag. It's a Barbie doll, wrapped up in a piece of bologna. One of its arms sticks out through the bologna. The other arm sticks out on the top. It's a lunch meat Barbie, I giggle. I'm going to get that kid, Tiffany says, shaking her head. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to get him. Is that your whole lunch? Do you want some of mine? I offer her some sandwich. She looks into the bag. No thanks. The little creep put this on top of the other stuff my mom made for me. The rest of her lunch looks absolutely normal. I was hoping that Howie would have done something more interesting, like include barbecue chips or something. But for a 5-year-old, he did pretty well. We continue to eat and talk. Hannah Burton drops some of her food on her sweatshirt. I kind of like lunchtime. It's good for me to forget about my problems. The first bell rings and we take our garbage and throw it into the bins. As I walk back to class, I hear Miss Holt say, "Amber." I walk over to her. She's very nice, but I know that she's mad at me. She says, "Amber, I would like to see you after school before you go to elementary extension." I nod. I, Amber Brown, am in big trouble. Okay, guys, that was part 3, and later we will do part 4. Thanks for joining me.